Bioprototype is a game that blends the biological evolution with the craziest science you have ever seen. What you create is put to the test, succeeding in survival or becoming victim to extinction. The best part of this game right now is that it is currently free for a limited time. The power of bio-enhanced psychotic organisms is available to every gamer. Well, that was enough to convince me to play the game. My journey as a small little blob began. Just like in any new game, I spammed all the buttons, only to realize that all I could do was move. The projectile just shoots out on its own. I don't control that. Which also means that there will be no pacifist run, where we all make it out of this alive. There will be mutually assured destruction. After succeeding in the first few waves, I was given a comprehensive thesis on how to play this game, an encyclopedia of directions on what to do next, the gigantic user manual for the complete guide of survival, an absolute plethora of digital information transmitted electronically to reach a deep neurological impact on my brain. I am saying all of this to make clear to you that I have no idea what I was doing. But really, how much of that would actually matter? I'm only in the beginning stage of a newly acquired game. I'll have a long time to get accustomed to this. I see. So this is the power of level 0. I understand what has to be done now. I got the gist now. Everything starts at the brain. It has an organ limit, the conditional organ and action organ. Each organ dictates what can be positioned next. It is then the player's job to deal the most damage possible with what random things they are given. You are given organs in between waves and obtain currency when an enemy is defeated. You can turn this into organs. Damage increases, health, and more useful things for survival. The first few waves are easy peasy. It is borderline impossible to mess this up. Unless you're throwing perfectly good money down the drain, you'll be fine. The real challenge is in the later stages. There's too many of them. We need reinforcements. This is Bob, who just a few waves ago was fine, and despite using his money to make the best financial investments possible, reached an unlikely demise. Why, you may ask? Well, Bob had a build that was just passable in the early waves, defeating low amounts of monsters, which in turn gave back little money. And with no significant change to the terrible build, the difficulty ramping up at the end of Bob. So what did we learn, class? We learned that just because you beat a wave, it doesn't mean you'll beat the next one. We learned that you constantly need to evolve in this bullet hell. We learned that Bob didn't have what it takes to survive in this world. We hate you, Bob! Taking this newfound knowledge into practice only took me so far. The end game was still a mystery. I'm being purposely cut off from potential escape routes while being surrounded. This boss, this level was too much for me. I am Bob. We have an enemy number 1. The only thing preventing victory is the boss. And his cheating laser beams that pop out of thin air and his minions in my build, my strategy had to be overhauled. I had to assist on a deal with the crowd. You might think that all damage is just damage, but a lot of my damage is locked behind the conditional organ of killing an enemy. That doesn't really happen with the boss. So my damage was like marshmallows. This was a difficult one, because the longer path you create, the less likely the conditions will be met. If you put in an easy conditional organism, the less damage the weapon will do. But if you have a condition that is harder to achieve, you're rewarded with more damage. The trick is to go wide, so the conditions will hit maximum damage achieved. The other category to min-max is the money. Only invest in damage. Always damage. There's never not a case where you don't invest in damage. Crit damage, basic damage, critical chance damage. Never ever ever not take damage. This ain't no kid's game. You can't just do whatever you want and expect to win. This game is not for the faint of heart. It was finally go time. Approval from the game came in multiple ways, yet something was off. The Steam achievement, use only one brain. There was others. On further inspection, I had no idea you can buy multiple brains. This would have made the game infinitely easier. That is so OP. The game is impossible to lose. Like, what on earth is coming out of me? That's aimbot, laser beams, cheating. My knowledge and access to tools expanded tenfold. From a useless slime character to the genius with 8 brains, the possibilities became exponential. It was time to bioprototype.